Welcome. It is episode 14 of Powered4.tv. Big Fight Weekly. Faster than a Manny Pacquiao flurry at the foothills of the Pyrenees. How about that one? Chris? How about that one? Do the old one-liner.
Was that a long and horrible thought, that one?
Absolutely. I nearly stalled on it there, but I had to do it for your benefit, mate. I know you get a chuckle out of that. How are you, mate? How are things?
Good, mate. Good.
Quite the week last week with the events that have transpired in MMA, boxing, UFC, obviously. So we're going to go into the win for Josh Taylor. He is now a unified champion in the modern 4-title era. He's undisputed. There were 2 title holders years ago that were obviously unified, but it changed. But yeah, hello, Rambo. All good?
You're Rambo.
Hello, Ramel. They're in the Philippines. Albert, all the way from Chi-Town.
Big Al.
LOL. I don't know what he's found funny. Maybe my
Himself,
Pacquiao
probably.
reference. But yeah, we'll get back to Josh Taylor then. Thank you for your comments. He's become the first UK Unified World Boxing Champion in the 4-belt era. Before someone turns around and said, we've already had British guys that were unified. That was in the 2-belt era. Ken Buchanan, who was also a Scottish boxer in the 1970s, he was unified, but it was 2 belts. And I'll stop going on about that now, Chris. What did you think of his performance? It's quite a close fight, bar the knockdowns, which is obviously what he scored. The judges did 114 to 112, Chris.
I thought it was quite close, you know. I thought Josh Taylor got out the gate quicker, but I thought Jose Ramirez caught up with him halfway through the rounds. So say between 5 and maybe 6 before he got the knockdown. I thought he was he was closing in after it. You know what I mean? It was proper I was trying to hide my words tongue tied now. I thought he was doing better because obviously Josh Taylor was right out the gate, as I said, and his strike rate, it was so quick and he was in and out, wasn't he? I know they like to both fight in the pocket, don't they? But I just thought in the first couple of rounds, Josh Taylor was just that inch a bit faster. And then Ramirez caught up with him. And then obviously got the knockdown in round 6 with the beautiful hook, wasn't it? Just right in the corner. And just drops him there. I wouldn't say it was a... Oh, go on.
Hello, Kyle. Sorry to cut you off there. Kyle Rogers, Kyle Wrestling. Look forward to some new content from Kyle. Great guy, great lad. He's done very well, that lad. Very proud of him. Sorry, Chris.
No, I had to say they caught him with a sweet hook and obviously dropped him. I would class that more of a flash knockdown. I wouldn't say it was like the uppercut was in the next round, because I thought the uppercut he hit Ramirez with was a masterful uppercut. It was just so beautiful. They're in the clinch. He pulls away just a slight and just drops that uppercut in. I just thought it was absolutely brilliant. But Ramirez didn't give up. He still was in that fight.
It was the knockdown sealed the deal for Taylor. Great performance, so all the same. Just he's so technically sound. As you look at that graphic there, the 5-6 guys he's fought, that was their combined record. The guys he's obviously still unbeaten. That's his record. There, how many fights they've had. And, what he's gone up against, they've only lost 1, which is just, it's incredible. But he's spiteful, Josh Taylor. Ben Davison deserves a lot of credit. I know, obviously, he's not with Tyson these days, but Ben's a fantastic trainer. Also, for Ramirez, the great Robert Garcia, fantastic trainer. Mickey Garcia is actually his brother. Mickey Garcia's won a lot of belts and stuff. So, yeah, 2 really good trainers. But it was close. I felt it was really close. But round 6 and round 7 just put him on the verge, I think, there, and a fantastic performance. It's just who will he fight next? I say Jack Catterall, who's a UK fighter, also unbeaten, but I only see Josh Taylor coming through that one. It's got to be, I've got to be honest with that one, but it'll be interesting, Chris, going forward. Where next? It's like where next for Ramirez as well, off the back of that,
Yeah, but that loss for Ramirez doesn't lose any clout over that, you know what I mean? Because it was a hard-fought fight between the pair of them. I think his stock still stays quite high. I don't think, he didn't get overruled in the fight, did he? He was, like I said, he was in that fight all the way through. Maybe they can rematch somewhere down the line.
Absolutely. We look forward to see what happens with Josh Taylor taking on Jack Catterall, a big UK tear-up. Hopefully we love them. They're some of the best fights, as we say, the UK, 2 UK bulls going at it. So, yeah, we look forward to that. Moving on, because we've got a lot to cover. Joshua And Tyson Fury is not happening at the 11th hour. We were only talking about it last week, Chris.
Close.
They'd announced the date. A couple of hours later, I think it was. Oh, no, Bob Arum said they're going to exercise the right with Wilder to get the third fight because it's in contract. But how the hell Frank Warren didn't know about this and Eddie Hearn? It's like they've purposely done it at the 11th hour.
So straight up hi to Rachel, who's just said hi in the comments as well.
Yeah. So what do you think, Chris, about this? So you've obviously got AJ versus Usyk, which I think, no disrespect to Usyk, I think AJ being the natural heavyweight, I just can't see it going any other way. And Usyk is fantastic, you know, unified at cruiser. I just think it's big. It's a big man's division, that, isn't it? And he's going to have to put on some weight. I just think AJ's going to be too strong for him. And then Fury and Wilder. It's only going to go one way, surely, Chris.
Well, obviously, Mark's asking Tyson AJ off. I don't think the fight's off, is it? I think they have to get through their next opponents now, aren't they? Just clear them out of the way, and then hopefully, maybe we say November, December, we can get Tyson and AJ back on the cards. Regardless of that, it's a pain in the arse, isn't it? Just, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think you feel the same as me and everybody else. We don't want to see Usyk versus Joshua. We don't want to see Wilder get completely obliterated by a Fury again. We want Joshua and Fury, and that's the only fight that matters. And that's the only fight that people want to see. So it's frustrating that we have to go backwards again before we go forwards again.
Rambo, you know, like alluding to what Chris said to the previous comment with Mark, you know, it's not off. It's just delayed. It's just delayed. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. Al Heyman is the modern day Don King. I do not like the man. He's done all this. Al Heyman. Dirty tactics. But at the end of the day, it's there in black and white and on a contract. Ramel, freaking Wilder had all the time in the world to ask for that rematch, but made that move when those two actually made an agreement. Yeah, Ramel, it's gutting. It's gutting. We were so close to it being in August. And it's like they're just taking it. They just pulled the rug under from everyone. And I think, you know, they're going to be more. One of my faves, Chris, I suggest a triple match would solve this. AJ versus Aldo versus Tyson. That could be the first.
It would have to be a four-way now, wouldn't you? Have to put Usyk in there, wouldn't you? So it'd have to be a four-way.
I'm not disputing Usyk. I just think when he comes up the cream of the crop, and you're coming up against a 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" guy. But Holyfield went up from cruiserweight and did very well. So you never know. Usyk is good, but he is a bit undersized heavyweight. Yeah, what's he going to be? 220, 225 maybe maximum. And you know, these other guys are like
it's not big heavyweight.
You're talking like 240, 260, 270. You know,
when you look at these four fights, that the only worry out of all this, because I don't worry on Fury's side, because I think he beats Wilder. I think he's got Wilder's number, to be honest with you. It's the Usyk Joshua one, because Joshua's chin is suspect, and you know what I mean. It only takes one, doesn't it? That's the only worry I have in all this.
Brett Thomas, it would be off if Wilder wins and AJ. Yeah, this is the problem. I spoke off camera with Rich about this earlier. He brought out what happens if it doesn't go the way that it's meant to go, that we think. And then you've got Usyk and you've got Wilder, you know, as champions. It's heavyweight boxing at the end of the day. Hi, Lewis, all the way from Falkirk there up in Scotland. Nice one, Lewis. Stu and Chris, I want you to invalid Powered 4 SP3 LOL. I don't know what to say about that.
What do you mean invalid? Doesn't that mean that make him like he doesn't make like invalid?
I think he might have an issue with that SP3. It's a bit
invade. I get you. I did it in the comments last week with these all. I invaded a SP3 show with John. I'll do it again if you like.
Absolutely. So yeah, just to close out on that one, the big news is we're not getting AJ and Fury when we were expecting to have it out in Saudi August 14th. But yeah, we'll see what develops through the coming weeks. We'll be covering that very closely, what happens. But yeah, it's looking like these two fights will be on. I suppose we're getting two for the price of one. You could look at that.
But nobody wants those fights, do they? Let's be honest here. We want Joshua, we want Fury. Now, this could be, like our comments have said before, this could make absolute balls up of this. And we could end up with Wilder and Usyk. And then everyone's like, well, Fury and
this
Joshua
is not gone to plan. A fight that A fight that is happening, though, this weekend, a huge fight at lightweight. It is Devin Haney, the young prodigy, only 22. Won the belt by default. Lomachenko dropped the belt. They never fought. Linares has made light of this, as if to say, like, Haney's a paper champion. Teofimo Lopez, who's in the division, a big, huge prospect too. He said the similar sort of things. Linares said also about the social media aspect of these guys going at each other. He's not a fan of it. But Linares, free-weight world champion, a bit older, could the veteran come away with the victory? I know we did like a pre-preview last week because I got my weeks mixed up, but yeah, huge night of fighting on DAZN, which is still £1.99 in the UK. If you want to sign it, you'll get that fight. What do you think, Chris? Because we covered it briefly last week.
I know, yeah, it was fine. We almost really did UFC for this week and it's next week, so don't worry. I've got Haney. I just think it's time for the fresher boxer, the younger boxer, but he's got skills, hasn't he, Haney? And I didn't think he was great in the last one we did. I think did we preview one of it? I'm sure we did. I don't think he's brilliant because everything I've read, people think he's the next Floyd Mayweather, and I'm like, hold your horses here. Like, it's a big name to put your name against, isn't it? But Linares has been and done it all, hasn't he?
Fought Lomachenko, won all them. Also with Haney, Chris, he couldn't get licensed in the US at 17. The age and that. He went into Mexico. They were giving him, it was fighters to get him up there. It was to get wins. Haney was out in Mexico at 17 initially to get the fights under his belt because they just know he's a talent. So yeah, I was
the place to go to learn.
I was reading up on that. They couldn't do it in the US, so they went to Mexico.
The toughest nails over there, Mexican boxers. Let's be honest.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Brett. Thank you very much for that donation. We appreciate that. Rich and John will be very happy. Thanks for reading my stuff. Please get on tomorrow to Powered 4 SP3. There you go, Chris.
I'll be with you, Brett.
I'm working, so I won't be.
I'll be there. I'll invade the chat again. Don't worry, Brett.
So yes, Saturday in the US, early hours Sunday for us. It is Devin Haney taking on Jorge Linares, the freeweight world champion, against Haney, a young prodigy with a lot of big prospects on his shoulders. And this is a big one. Then hopefully we'll get to see him against Lopez. That's the money fight in that division. To the younger bulls going at it. So yes. Chris, I think perfectly now we can segue into UFC Fight Night. We'll go into MMA now. And as you can see on the graphic there below, Font outpoints Garbrandt. Chris, I will let you take the lead on this one.
I tell you what, right? When we previewed this fight last week, and I was like, I don't expect any wrestling. And to be fair, I'm going to realise now, I'm going to say when we preview fights, there's not going to be a knockout, and hopefully we should get a knockout, no? I've got this sort of mystique now. If I say something's not going to happen, it does happen. But we're going into the fight. I thought Font and Garbrandt, they were brilliant. I think this is the best of Garbrandt I've seen for a long time. But Rob Font is just levels above Garbrandt. They both ate shots, and I'm saying that Garbrandt is a hell of a bad, not bad as in bad, but badass. Heavy. Yeah. But it was. You know what I mean? They both took each other's punches. But Rob Font was just a bit more calculated, a bit more patient. You know what I mean? He picked his shots. I'd say Garbrandt as well was less all over the place and wild. He was bobbing and weaving. He was moving, and you know what I mean. He was taking the shots, and he's putting a lot more combinations in, which you don't really see with Garbrandt. Sorry, he's more of a one swing, isn't he? And then puts it all in one. But he took it. You know, he was hitting out with combos against Font, and I was really impressed.
He was more measured. He wasn't wild like he has been. No, I noticed. But then I think that reach, that gargantuan reach that Rob Font has at the bantamweight division. You know, if you're 71.5 inches and he's coming up against a guy at 65.5, but still Garbrandt still landed, and he's
landed hard as well.
6 inch short, shorter in reach. It wasn't one sided, was it, on the striking department, Chris?
No, I think they were very close. And I think Rob Font just got off a bit more. But like I say, he was more calculated. He did back up Garbrandt a lot in the fight. But Garbrandt, like I say, he uses wrestling, and in a minute, as we spoke before, it wasn't just wrestling, and Font got straight back up. He did control Font, not for very long, but you know what I mean, enough to sort of try and
stand the tide, like
I thought they were both really good, and like I say, I was really impressed with Garbrandt's his ways of having a combination. He was hitting his 1-2s. He wasn't just wild swinging, so it was making Fob Font think, right, I need to sort of back away, be more calculated, come in and come out. They were both fantastic. Right now, Rob Font is in the mix for a title shot, but the only problem is, again, there's another division that's backed up for a title fight, and then we've got Dillashaw and Sanhagen. I think they're fighting in July, and that I assume that's the elimination then for the number one, for the title. But then we don't know when Aljo and Pete Yarn are going to be fighting next. So maybe, just maybe, the winner of Dillashaw and Sanhagen, Rob Font could sneak in there. And we've got a good fight for him.
I felt, just going back to Garbrandt, he looked tired round 3. I know, obviously, he carried on. And also, in terms of significant strikes, Fonts were a lot higher. Just taking away some of the, the stats there, Chris. But it was close. It was close. It was close. I don't know where the judges got 50-45. Far too wide. Yeah. Far too wide on the scorecards.
I don't agree with that.
The 48-47, would that have been about right for you, do you think? That scorecard more so, a bit closer?
Yeah, I'd say it was close. Yeah. It was a closer fight than what the judges pointed out. But then, judges, again, these are the people that could ruin a title fight for somebody. Mm-hmm. With judging like that, it's terrible. They need like a proper schooling for these people.
Where next for Garbrandt off the back of a loss? Good performance, decent performance, just gets outpointed. We know Font now's looking higher, higher up there now, title contention. Where next for Garbrandt, Chris? Because
one fight. I only want one fight. Give me the goddamn Dominic Cruz rematch. Give me it.
Have you been campaigning for that on the Twitter, mate?
I put a bit in here and there, but now's the time. Let's do it. Let's have them rematch. Yeah. Because Cruz is on won his last fight. I know Garbrandt lost his last, but listen, everyone wants to see that. I'd love for Cruz to get back in there and fight him again. I would.
Absolutely. So Rob Font, big victory for him in terms of title contention. We're going to now go to Carla Esposa, who wins in emphatic fashion against Yan, and then calls out Thug Rose Namajunas off the back of it. What a performance, Chris. Incredible. Side control, controlled her on the ground. I thought it was going to get finished in the first round. She was going for a submission as well. What did you take away from it? What did you take away from her in that one?
Complete, utter domination. I don't get why Yan went straight in there from the first, bell. I don't get that. You're facing a wrestler. Be a bit more preserved and come back a bit and pick your shots. Don't go straight in, because you know what a wrestler's going to do. As soon as you're going like that, they're going and take your legs on the floor. She didn't seem like she was very. I can't really be horrible in that way, but I didn't think she had much to give on the floor, because every time Esposa went into side control, it looked to me like she was trying to defend a full mount in a way, but Esposa never ever give any indication that she wanted the full mount. She was always quite happy in side control. She was trying to get that the crucifix, which obviously she ended up winning in the second round with the crucifix by a ground and pound. But she never give anything away like she wanted the full mount. But I always thought that Jan was trying to protect her from getting into full mount, and I think she just got it all wrong. The wrong tactics there completely, and I think she needs to go back and probably work on the ground game, because there's a lot of good wrestlers in the bantamweight division for them, or for her in general.
I always look back. I remember a Esposa against J-Chat many years ago.
Just got blown away.
Absolutely one-sided. I wonder now, Chris, is she coming of age with it, or would you see that? I know she wants Rose, but could she take J-Check on again, or would you see the same outcome?
Funny you mentioned Joanna. She's come out now. I think she's on one. I think she's got one fight left on her contract. She's come out and said now she just wants names. She doesn't want to go and fight the likes of Carla Esposa. She wants the big names. So I don't know, where she wants to go in her career now. That's it. She just wants the big names. In all fairness, there's not many big names other than the likes of Rose, Wei Liang, Shevchenko. I don't think she's going to go up and face Nunes because I think she'd been eaten alive by, Nunes.
Yeah.
For Esposa, the interest in this is because obviously she beat Rose, didn't she, in the Ultimate Fighter for the title way back originally. And that was a young Rose learning. She was very good on the show, but she's on fire now with Rose. Rose has turned everything around. And, just saw against Weili Yang, which, I picked Weili Yang to win the fight. We didn't see enough in that fight to see where would it go. But Rose is a beast now. Esposa's getting up there. She's definitely a lot better than she was. But I don't know what it's going to be like if it's standing again. If she can't take... Yeah. The likes, again, if she was to face Weili Yang next, maybe they just say for hypothetical speaking now, they put them together and the winner of that then gets Rose. I can't see that happening, but just say hypothetically, Weili Yang would dominate her, on the stand-up. It's kind of Carla, get them on the floor. These guys, these ladies, they're levels above everybody. These are the elite. I just don't know whether she'd be able to do anything to make a difference. But I'm happy for her, and I'm chuffed for her that, she's had to fight for diversity to get herself back up there, at the top of the mountain again. So, good luck to her.
Absolutely. Fantastic performance by Carla Esposa. This could be her again. Mr. Scott, one of the head honchos at powered4.tv. Loving the show, lads. Tuesday night's a big fight week. Chris, I dare you to show up tomorrow. He's thrown down the gauntlet.
The challenge accepted, John.
The boss man's thrown down the gauntlet. Rambo, thank you, mate. You've been with us from the day dot. Thank you for your support. Honest beyond reasonable. Hi, Stu. Big shout to your podcast. Loving it. You guys going to watch Floyd versus Logan? I don't particularly want to watch it. Me and Chris were speaking about this and the polls last night, actually. There might be something in the works. I will watch it because I just want to see Floyd destroying. That Logan Floyd fight will probably now be the biggest box office buy rate of the year. I said if AJ and Tyson would have beat it, but Wilder versus Tyson, I don't see them making the kind of cash they can talk about.
I have to agree with Rambo there. Yeah, but no one wants to see Wilder Tyson. We've seen it twice. We've seen Fury dominating twice. Okay, minus the Undertaker knockdown and the Undertaker rise from the knockdown. People will tune in.
Ramel there, domination from Carla Esposa. Ramel saying basically what we're saying as well. It was a fantastic performance from the girl. Hopefully that's her coming of age. Logan is going to be massive money fight. Brett Thomas, we know you love the polls. Absolutely. So yes, I think we will go to break. There's a new addition to powered4.tv. Here it is. A fantastic new addition, Daryl Heaton, known as Drill on the wrestling circuit. His promotion, This Is Wrestling. There's a lot of content available for free on Power4 TV with This Is Wrestling. And also, as you saw there, sign up, $7.99 a month. You get so much bang for your buck. It's incredible. Great work by Rich and John.
Yeah, fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic. Doing a great job getting all these promotions. Brilliant. So, This Is Wrestling. Fantastic. These don't half give you a lot of promotions. Absolutely, Mark.
They're the best, mate. They're the best.
You get bang for your buck. $7.99 all in. What's not to like? I tell you. Brett Thomas, this looks cool. Yeah, great work from Daryl and the team. I'm sure they're looking forward to getting the new shows up and running as restrictions lessen.
Get signing up. Get signing up, lads. Get signing up to Power4 TV.
Absolutely. A bit of sad news now, Chris. Paul Felder calls time on the UFC and MMA career. He said he didn't want to stand in the way of some of the lightweight prospects, did he? He felt like he was in the way in the rankings there. I was looking through his record, so many split decisions throughout his career. Some tight fights. I know he lost to Barboza, didn't he? Then he beat him later on a split. 9-6 in the UFC. Not a bad record considering the division he was in. 155's always been a hotbed, hasn't it, Chris?
Yes, definitely. You know what? To be honest with you, I reeled off. Going through his stuff as well, and he's got 3 performance of the nights. He's got 3 fight of the nights. His finishing record in entirety is 17 wins and 6 losses. He's only been finished once in his whole career,
incredible.
Which being in 155, especially in UFC, and the caliber of fighters he's beaten and lost to, that's brilliant. Also, though, I didn't realize this, and I forgot about this. He has a win over the current lightweight champion as well,
Charles Oliveira. Yeah, he does, mate. I noticed. I was just going back through what a catalogue of fights he's had. Great ambassador for the sport. I know we say about that all the time. What an ambassador! And then he's been doing the commentary. He's been doing the analysis
brilliant as well. Really, really good. Him and Michael Bisping were really good.
He obviously knows his stuff. He's done it day in, day out. But they're fantastic. These guys don't get enough credit on commentary for my liking. I think now at least he can fully focus on it, and he's not having to go into camps. I know they commentate while they're in camp as well. We've seen it lots of times. But yeah, Chris, just what was one of your standout moments, Paul Felder? I know we said about Charles Oliveira. One of the ones that just comes to mind straight out of your head. He's got 2. He's gonna do 2 for us. Absolutely fantastic.
Both Barboza fights. That's just one fight, but just 2 fights to the one.
Yeah.
The Barboza fight was absolutely brilliant. That was back and forward. Sorry, as a match. They both put it on the line. And also, the latest one he did was against this loss against Dan Hooker, which was very razor thin split decision. And I thought that was absolutely brilliant. He was a pioneer for the sport because he fought anyone whenever. He was obviously good friends with Donald Cerrone. They had the same work ethic. They fight anyone, anywhere. And it's sad to see someone like him go, but I'm glad he's going out on his terms. He's not going out because he can't do it anymore. He's going out because he feels like it's the right time. Hopefully Cerrone can look at his friend, and hopefully that'll be next for him as well. But I'm glad that they keep him on the commentary because the insights he has when you listen, to him when he's calling a fight, it's great. I like listening to John Anik and Joe Rogan, but it's nice to have an actual fighter there that can break down a fight.
A color analyst.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. He's been fantastic. We don't just say it for no reason. You hang on his every word on commentary as well. You're very intently listening, aren't you? So just I termed it sad, but as you say, it's not necessarily sad. He's doing it on his own terms, and he's got respect for that division. He can see there's younger guys than him in there, and he's stepping aside and going off into the sunset. In career terms, but then
he's still around though, isn't he?
And it begs the question, what will he do? In what extra bits will he now be able to do away from commentary? Will they get him doing other bits and bobs within the UFC, maybe ESPN?
Yeah, possibly. Maybe he can go, I don't know what he's doing in his gym in particularly, but, he can help train the next lot and people can learn, from him. And, because he had balls and like Cerrone, they'd fight anyone, anywhere. And it's a good pioneer for someone who wants to get into MMA and have someone like him as a coach. Because, he'll take you somewhere.
Absolutely. Quite the career. 9-6, 17-6 in MMA. Fantastic. He's bowed out on his terms. He's come away. And we look forward to hearing him and whatever he does in his future endeavours with the UFC. Absolutely. Chris, another topic to move on to now. Celebrity boxing. Biggest fight, Colin. Where's this come from? This isn't in my notes.
No, it wouldn't be in your notes. This is payback for Chris's bets, this bitch. Me and John secretly spoke about this before on Facebook, and we were
Aaron Carter.
Yeah. I don't know the guys. I have no idea who they are.
You don't know who Lamar Odom is?
He's an NBA player, isn't he?
Yeah, he was with one of the Kardashians. He was. Yeah.
Oh right. Okay. Oh yes. I know.
Years ago.
I don't know who Carter is. Apparently, he's a pop singer. Former pop singer.
His brother was in Backstreet Boys, mate. Aaron Carter, Nick Carter. It's his younger brother.
Sounds like someone of EastEnders.
He was like a kid's pop icon, probably not on the level of Justin Bieber. Not that I like Justin Bieber.
Hold on here.
They were trying to get into the heady heights, the top echelons of pop music. Didn't work. Anyway, Chris, I digress. Back to you.
Why, right? I don't know really what to say about this because John and Rich sent me this on Instagram and Facebook, and they were like, "I don't know, we should send Stuart this because he might blow his top." And I was like,
God, man.
And I was like, I don't know what is Chuck Liddell doing here. Is he like Stone Cold when it was Goldberg and Brock? Is he going to be
what is going on?
I don't know how this works.
I wonder how Chuck must be getting paid a wedge for him to want to do it. That's the best thing about. That's the best thing about it.
Is he like going to enforce us? If they stop farting around, is he going to put some 4-ounce gloves on and stop throwing him around?
I would pay to see him. I would pay to see him knock him Sparko, actually. But yeah, Brett Thomas, that looks sick. I thought you'd like that, Brett, to be fair. Ramel Pan says, wow, saw that last week. Thought it was fake news. Judging by that, it looks pretty official. That hasn't been just done on Photoshop overnight. What is Chuck doing? Mark,
I don't know.
I don't blame Chuck for getting a payday for it, to be fair. I've looked at, Mike Tyson, Enforcer, say Ken Shamrock, WrestleMania 13, same thing again. You know,
I don't get the whole. I don't get how this works and how does Chuck referee in a boxing match when he's an MMA fighter?
That begs the question, doesn't it?
Oh, I haven't got
biggest fight card of the year. I beg to differ there. You get throwing that one in.
Yeah, that's payback, that boy. Payback.
Thank you very much. And I think that the other big news, Chris, my word, here we go. Two behemoths, heavyweight for the heavyweight title, fought before. Lewis beat him.
Yes, and this was probably one of the worst fights of that year because it was so lackluster. Obviously, Ngannou was coming off his loss to Miocic, which took a lot of his confidence. Derek Lewis, he was complaining about back spasms during the fight as well. But it was really lackluster. If I'm honest, don't watch it. Watch this version because this version is going to be chaos.
They're going to make amends. They're going to make amends for it, Chris, aren't they? Right,
they're both on hot streaks at the moment. They're both knocking people out. I'm looking forward to it. I didn't realise it was going to be this early, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I still think Ngannou's got this. It's a bit disappointing that isn't John Jones. From what I'm reading at the moment, John Jones is told by Dana White, either fight in the summer or don't fight again. It's frustrating because I think me and everybody else in the MMA community want to see Ngannou versus John Jones. I look Derek Lewis. I think Derek Lewis deserves a title shot, but John Jones should be going here first. Personally,
I think basing it stylistically, he bested Stipe and Ngannou. And like you say, is it now where he's just realised what he's got to do? To cement his legacy at the tippy top here, and I think Lewis has got power. Lewis has got power as well, but I just think Ngannou now. I think he's worked out where he's gone wrong. Maybe
I think so. When you look, in against Miocic fight, he used to take down defense, turned it around to his own takedown. That's not a guy who can knock you out or knock you into the next world. Learning how to have really good takedown defense. I wouldn't say really good, but enough to keep him standing. Because if he's learning takedown defense, they're all in trouble. All of them are in trouble.
Absolutely. You see a huge gargantuan main event for us in August the 7th. We've got McGregor and Poirier coming up in July as well.
Yeah.
There's some big cards coming up on the UFC calendar. Can't wait to be covering these as we get closer and closer to these fights. But yeah, fantastic. Big match announcement. And you can just tell Chris is very happy that they'll make amends this time round. We hope.
Hopefully. We do.
Please, I hope you haven't put the kiss of death on this. Honest beyond reasonable. Any off-subject question? Did either of you see A&E Warrior Doc? Yeah, I have done. I will admit I cried at the end, just wondered what you thought. Also, Darkside are releasing their one on Friday. Let's see how them two differ. We'll segue into a bit of wrestling. It's old school. Chris likes this. Was Chris's era. He loved Warrior when we were growing up. But I was actually there. I was at the Hall of Fame when he went in. And then I was at Raw when he did his final speech. And then going through the airport, coming home, and CNN was on as we were collecting our bags to connect. And Warriors died. It was just like
madness that were released.
But he made peace with everyone. It was almost like it was the weight was lifted, and he went. Honest, beyond reasonable. I saw Warrior Doc. Yeah, it was sad at the end, although he was a rotten guy as well. I think we all go through stages in life where we're that way, and you got to change your ways sometimes. He realised later on, but then the self-destruction documentary was terrible at the time. That was bitter. It was so bad. But you saw him with Hogan backstage in 2014 that weekend. He said, I was really hurt by everyone's comments, but they made amends. They hugged. Rachel Cornell, Dark Side will show a lot more of the darker side. Jim Cornette is on that one. Do you know what the problem is with Dark Side of the Ring, though? Now, it'll be a one episode with breaks taken out 45 minutes, whereas the A&E documentary is an hour and 25. But it'll lift the lid. It'll lift the lid more on the Dark Side of the Ring one, because obviously A&E are working with WWE on those documentaries. But that should be a two-parter, the Warrior one as well. They should have done that as a two-parter. Dark Side.
He warrants it. He warrants it.
Brett Thomas, I agree, Stu. Everyone goes through bad times. We do, mate, and it's how you get past those bad times and you better yourself. And we've had some dark days, to tell you. But people go through it. You've got to get up and tackle the day. That's what I say now, off the back of that. Yeah, bit of wrestling then. Bit of pro wrestling. And here we go. Yeah, Logan Paul vows to try MMA once. Chris, I did straight up.
I did this for Brett because I know Brett wants something with Logan Paul, doesn't he? I saw this. I did chuckle because MMA is not boxing. You will undoubtedly have more than just a punch coming your way. But I did some research and I went through what I could find on Logan Paul, because I heard he was a wrestler. Apparently, he was in the Ohio University wrestling team, and they're notorious for NCAA Division One wrestling team. Yeah, and Division One wrestling team is that is good. So if he's been in around that, okay, he's got a good steady build of wrestling. That's terrific. Can he do it in MMA? Like I say, it's a whole different ball game than boxing. You can be a good wrestler, but if you're facing someone that can leg kick you, punch you from different angles, submit you. My question on this, mate. Who's a viable opponent for him? Logan NCAA. Just reiterating what Chris said there, Brett. Thank you, Brett. Thank you for that. Yeah, you and Chris are on the same page. Who is a viable opponent for Logan Paul? I personally, right now, if I'm Dana White and I see this, right, I do see money signs here, because he did it for CM Punk, he did it for Brock Lesnar. Okay, yes, different because Brock Lesnar is huge in WWE and wrestling as a whole. So was CM Punk. Logan Paul is a social media darling. He's a lot better than he was years ago. I think a lot more people respect him now. I'd give him a go. If they're going to give like CM Punk, who's had no background in martial arts, Logan Paul's got a Division One background. Brock Lesnar had a Division One background, didn't he? And utilised that quite well. But he's a big man, so it's a totally different, outlook on that. Give him a go. Why not? I just don't know how he'd prosper in MMA personally.
What weight, Brett? I'll get to your comment in a minute. What weight? What size? What weight division would you put him in? Where's he going to go?
In boxing, he's a cruiserweight, so you'll have to
200 pounds.
So that'd be 185 or 205.
That's the cut-off point. He's not going to go into light heavy. He's going to cut to 185, isn't he? Doing that, and still, they're going to be massive.
Brett, my friend, I know you've said here you've heard that Logan wants to face DC. DC would absolutely eat Logan Paul alive. You're talking about someone who's better than a Division One wrestler. He's an
Olympics,
and yeah, he's an all-time great and a future Hall of Famer with Daniel Cormier. I think if Logan Paul wants to face someone, I don't think Daniel Cormier is the caliber to jump in at.
Ramel, again, still up very late there in the Philippines. We love you and your comments, mate. Yes, wrestling, a good base, but of that, it ain't good. It's not like in the old days where you can get away from it, but now most fighters are well-rounded. Yeah, we've discussed it. It's a different beast. MMA is a different beast now than what it was. You could get away with just having one style years ago. Now, they've all got a bit of everything.
Unless you could be. Unless you could be.
Yeah, and you only need... I'll tell you what, though, he did have a go standing, didn't he? He wasn't
the best. No. But, you know, listen, you have to be to be like the best in your sort of skill of martial arts. You have to be a Khabib, don't you? You have to be wrestling bears at fucking 6 years old. You know, I'd say give him a go. Come to UFC, go to Bellator. I think there's money in Logan Paul because I think he'd get a shit ton of people viewing it, like I think he will against Floyd. Have a go, but just don't stick around because I don't think it's a nice sport for people with a pretty face.
As much as it pains me to say it, this looks the way that it's going. Shite collar boxing, shite collar MMA. As much as it pains me to say it, that there's money in it, isn't there? Brett Thomas, you guys make me feel happy. Whenever I listen to you, are nice guys. Mick never reads my stuff. Mick never reads my stuff, but you two, S3 and Chris, my top favourites. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Brett. And we appreciate you every week with your comments, mate. Yeah. Definitely. And you keep commenting. We will read them out. I totally disagree, Chris. How can you be shocked at DC? The guy facing the greatest Floyd, he needs the best.
Yeah, but Daniel Cormier was the best. Daniel Cormier is a two-weight champion. He's beaten the best. He's only been beaten by two of the very best, which is Miocic and the legend that is John Jones. You don't want to throw someone like Logan Paul in with someone that good straight away. If you want someone his level,
he just needs to concentrate on Floyd at the minute. Forget this MMA talk for a bit. Brett Thomas, if he beats Floyd, Dana will drive to Logan's podcast studio with bags of money. I think Chris would agree with you on that. And Jake will Jake will then smash up Floyd after. Chris, you say Jake's the worst of the two.
Yes, but you know what? He's a joker. He can box. You can't take that away from him. I mean, he's gotten there. You know what I mean? We can't say, oh, he's a shithouse because we've never gotten a boxing ring, have we? So
not quite yet.
He's made his money. He's just signed a contract with Showtime now. I heard Jake Paul. So you mean if Showtime sees something, they see money, obviously.
I'm a purist. I want to see professionals doing it, but it is the sign of things to come. You know, Lamar are doing, and no, I just can't. I can't.
Fight of the year, that mate.
I can't fathom it. And also, there was a comment there that I didn't allude to. Someone said Snoop's on about getting into boxing. Carnage Pain. I was wondering when you were going to have a little comment, mate. I want Logan beating Carnage Pain. I'm with you. I'm with you wholeheartedly on that one. I want the same outcome. Imagine, lads, if Floyd messes up, not a chance in hell.
I've said this to you, though.
Not a cat in hell's chance. Not a cat in hell.
He's an old man now.
Look, he's still in his 40s, you know, and nobody could. He outboxed everybody bar Maidana. Yes. I know Maidana was lucky not to get a victory there. It was that was the contentious decision.
There you go.
Snoop is expected to promote boxing. Yeah, I did see that before, Mark. Yeah, we'll allude to your comment there. Yeah, get him off commentary. It was an
don't bring him back to the UFC.
Thriller. That Triller commentary was abysmal because he was just shouting. If I've learned anything getting into this Superstar Pro gig with Mike Angus, you don't shout because you're taken away from the performers who were in the ring. So there we go. That's rule 101 for me. Yeah, I don't want to hear Snoop shouting, screaming how much money he's won.
$1 million, wasn't it? Well, $1 million too.
So maybe pull him to the side. I've been promoting it. He might be better placed there.
He'll go and make a good album for once.
When was his last good album?
90s. 90s. When we had gin and juice.
I'm surprised how long we've spoken about this. This went a bit longer than I anticipated.
I was setting you up, mate, all the way.
Rich, have we got any more comments before we close out? I know you've been pumping them through rather than having them at the end because I know where the guys like to have them read out. No, right, okay, that's fine. So, Chris, where can the viewers find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Van FanHume86. They can find me on Twitter at FanHume, and they can find me on Powered 4 TV's Big Fight Weekly page on Facebook.
Tell people about Saturday as well. You got Saturday coming up, haven't you? You got a live with Albie.
Yes, I'll also be on YouTube. If you search for a show called Art of Partying, I'm there with my American friends Don and Albert as we just review films, have a few beers, just shoot the shit and have a good laugh. Come find me there if you want to have a laugh and listen to us talk a load of rubbish, I guess. Art of Partying. A
superb Saturday night for you, mate. Are you going to pull? Are you going to pull an all-nighter again?
No. Well, I do actually. I do have Monday off it being a bank holiday.
There you go. You can. You may as well. You got the extra day off.
I haven't got UFC to fall back on, though, have I?
No, but you can watch. You can watch Haney and Linares. That'll be on. That'll be worth a watch.
I don't think I'll get to the point where I'm going to get hammered like that again, mate. The next day's not good. I'm too old now, mate. I'm too old. I can't cope with the hangovers anymore. I'm not youthful.
Oh, mate. Thank you so much, Power 4. Yeah. Brett, thank you. Thanks, guys. It's Carnage Pain. Yeah, brilliant. For the effort you put in. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about effort.
And thank you guys for coming in each week and commenting and keeping us going, because we're excited to do this show, but we're excited to do it for you. So it's great you coming in with questions and, giving us something to talk about, a bit of what we're talking about. I love all the ultras, Powered 4. I'll see you guys on SP3 and John's show on the chat. So be ready.
I am Stu Palmer as well. I'll just get my stuff in before we depart. Stu's Wrestling Podcast. There is a new episode dropping with Sheikh El Sham. He took on Moose from Impact at Preston City Wrestling in 2019. We talk about that. We talk about his burgeoning career in film and TV. He's got a big project coming up with Prime Video, and he speaks about that. And he's also ahead of sixth form, like our school system here in the UK, because I know we get worldwide people. So yeah, a lot going on with Sheikh El Sham. So I look forward to dropping that. And yeah, Stu's Wrestling Podcast across all social media. We're on all the podcast outlets as well. There you go. Chris got a t-shirt on. You can get that from WrestleMerchCentral.com. Just type in Stu's Wrestling Podcast. Plenty of merchandise there. So yeah, I think before I go off the beaten track with Powered 4 TV there and just plug Stu's Wrestling Podcast, we have been Powered4.tv, Big Fight Weekly. Episode 14 is in the bag, and we will see you next week.
See you then.